All right, guys. Looks like we may be set to get underway here. First set 0-0. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz of Spain versus Mika from Finland. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, fresh off a Euro Tour win last month, playing really well. Finished in the top 8, I think, at the US Open. Certainly the top 16. I could be wrong about the top 8, but yeah, he and fellow countryman David Al-Qaid both finished in the top 16 at that event. So both guys come in good form. Mika, Hall of Famer from Finland, former US Open winner. Really strong players here. We are here at the CSI Predator Pro Series event out in Michigan. This is the third stop of the season. Tournament out in Tucson, Arizona was won by Fedor Gorst. Second stop was in Las Vegas for the Diamond Las Vegas Open, where Wu Kun Lin came away with the victory. Anybody unfamiliar with the format, races to 4. You play 2 sets. And if the players are tied, it goes to a spot shot shootout. Very exciting format, a lot of fun to watch, and with such short races, you're liable to see anything. Big thanks to all you guys that have been out there hanging out with us all day, watching this great action on the outer tables over there in Michigan. You are watching a collaborative effort between The Sweat podcast. That's Jeremy Mason, me. I'm your host of that podcast. But I'm working here with the Booth brothers, Melina Mike, Joey Ryan. Of course, Mark White is over on the mainstream table doing commentary. Right now in the booth with him is Tony Robles. And actually just saw the conclusion of the match they were doing between Mario He and Tyler Steyer. Mario He was able to win that match by a score of 4-2 in a shootout. So Tyler Steyer over to the B side, joined once again by Melina Mike here.
Yo. What's going on, everybody?
They started a little early here, Mike.
All right, let's see. What do we got here? Francisco Sanchez Ruiz against the Iceman, huh?
Yeah, good professional caliber matchup here. Did you see the end of that Steyer versus He? It went to a shootout. Mario was able to come away with the victory there.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to watch it live, but I just went back on the YouTube and replayed it, which is one of the beauties of it because it's there instantly. So I think that was a winner's side match, though. No, so Tyler still got another bullet there.
Yeah, that was winner's side action. So Tyler Steyer will have to win one more match to try to get back into the final 16.
Well, Panda's coming with it, huh? Played good. Meanwhile, Ruiz is playing as well as Ruiz is playing as well as anybody right now, in all games. Well, not all games. I say in the rotation games and just in general. I'm playing rotation pool. He had a pretty good run at the U.S. Open, decent run at the World 10 Ball. What a nice little touch shot that was! Wow. It was kind of surprising that David got selected for my money for the Moscone Cup for a number of different reasons. I thought Max would go and make it based off of points, but aside from that, I would go and argue till the end of the earth that Ruiz is playing better right now than David Al-Qaid is.
Yeah, and he just won the Euro Tour there before the 2 tournaments that you mentioned in the last couple of weeks. Euro Tour about maybe 2 months ago, if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this nice safety battle between these two is going to end with the missed jump shot there from Mika. Now a nice opportunity here for Francisco to get rolling. Had to use all of that pocket on the high side there to create an angle to go to the right side of the three with the cue ball. But he is in perfect shape here. Probably reaching for an extension here. This is a little bit of a tough reach. And I think is going to have to possibly draw straight out here. Not a lot of angle on this ball.
Just a bit of an update for everybody. Shane leads Chang Jun Lin 121, 119. And they're playing a 155. Alex is down, actually tied up in game count. He was down 7-1 in ball count, and he's running balls right now. So Alex trying to go and steal one. And then, Jeremy, this is going to be the first game on this match that we're watching?
Yeah, as far as I know, the players were warming up before this. I don't think we missed anything.
Okay. Ruiz is a tall guy, so this must be a bit of a reach for him. Looks like he's got to go and pull it back some to have a shot on the four. Ain't that the four ball on the right?
Yeah, no, he mishit that. He was a little bit jabby. It's so easy to do with the rest. Didn't get there. He wanted to pull that back another at least 1.5 to 2 feet.
Well, I wonder if it crosses if it can go and pass the five ball for the side pocket. And no, he played safe all the way. And watch out, watch out. I think he might have left it.
Just the right half here. There isn't a shot, but Mika's going to have a chance at a crossover safety, I think. Cue ball over behind the 6, if I'm seeing this correctly.
Nice shot.
Yeah, not perfect, right? It was a little bit. The safety wasn't sitting perfectly there, so not really a miss from Mika. Just it wasn't a natural shot to get the cue ball over as far as you would have liked. And when I say that, I mean just you need a certain angle to be able to beat the scratch in the corner there, and you kind of have to take what the table gives you sometimes. So Francisco sees this ball and actually comes with a really nice shot, uses the 9 as a rail, and not going to get back down for the 5 on the side. It's still going to be cuttable, I think, but he's going to have to do some work with the cue ball here. Does have the whole right side of the table open, though, so I think he might be able to take this on. Let's see what he does. No, he's going to play safe.
Well, I think we know he's choosing the conservative route, and in this match, race to 4. You don't have a whole lot of room for error, so I can't say I blame him. Mika's kind of the opposite. If you see something juicy, he's gonna go and take a swing at it.
Well, you mentioned that European style last night, right? And that the Spanish players would certainly fall into that category with obviously Sanchez Ruiz here, but we were talking about Albanosian at the time and kind of just playing the percentages basically at all times, right? Not really factoring in down and distance so much. Just, the right shot for him is going to be the right shot no matter the situation. And I'm not sure which ball Mika called there, if he was playing the straight bank on the 5 or if he was playing some kind of a carom on the 7. But basically everything went in there, and he's left with a long look at the 6.
Yeah, whatever it was, he came out looking good.
Probably coming out looking good here too, although he will show the ball to Ruiz. So getting our money's worth here in the first rack. We actually saw a real nice safety battle to start this out, and then a couple cue ball positional errors from both players here. And here we are, still 0-0. Both these guys trying to get in line and get that first beat up on the wire. To answer a question in the comments, somebody was asking where they can view that on YouTube. talking about the main table, you can go to Q Sports International's Facebook, YouTube page, or you can go to Q Sports International's website and click on the link to the live stream. Um, you can also view that coverage at Billiard TV on Distro TV. And I believe there's another channel that you mentioned earlier as well, Mike. Maybe it's called Billiard TV on YouTube now.
Yeah, World Billiard TV. Hey, give me just a few
World.
minutes, Sherman. I'll be right back, brother.
All right, take your time. So Mika misses once again here, and the 8's going to come back up and cover the 6. Waves the hand apologetically. So still not an opening here for Sanchez Ruiz. So let's see how he handles this. Once again with the crossover safety, and Mika will see the ball. Giving this a long look. It's a little bit awkward here. Can't really get over behind the 8. If the 9 wasn't there, he could kind of bank the 6 up and drag down below the 8, but he's called the bank up in the corner. He's going to play aggressive here. This is not a two-way shot. He's playing all out on the bank. Hit it pretty good, scared the pocket, but not going to get it done, and going to be a great opportunity here for FSR. Corby, Mike is away for a minute, and he might have more insight than me on this. Actually, I would probably think that he would, but for me, I think you would definitely see Shaw again, almost as always. You got to put filler in there. Um, he said that they already announced David Al-Qaid. And then it's tough to keep Kachi off after that win at the Predator World 10 ball, right? And that leaves one more. And for me, I still like Albin. I always like Albin. But maybe we'll ask Mike that question once he gets back in the booth with us and see if he has any more insight. And that's leaving Kazakis off. So I mean, it's a tough decision for sure. And that's leaving Fedorov as well. Yeah, Jody, sorry, I saw your question earlier and didn't get to it. I actually don't know anything about the manufacturing of these tables. I don't know if it's something internally handled by Predator or if they are outsourcing that to another company. Maybe Mike, once again, would have more insight on that. I'll see if I can ask him that question as well. And feel free to say that again later. If you don't hear me ask Mike, I apologize. We tried our best to get to all these questions. Not really trying to ignore any of them, I promise. It's just sometimes a lot to get to. Let me get the score updated for you guys. Francisco was able to get that first rack. Leads 1-0 here in the first set. And once again, seeing it a little bit glitchy here on the screen as I change the score, but ball down for Sanchez Ruiz. And how many times on this table today have we seen that 10 ball sit in one of these lower corner pockets here? He's got to look at the 1, and the 2-10 is hanging. Ignacio in the comments asks, what about Team USA? I think that one's a little bit more clear cut. You definitely, Shane and Sky are already on there. That's already been announced. And even if it hadn't, we'd probably already all know that. They did announce that Justin's not going to be there. So, as Sanchez Ruiz makes that combination, let me get that score updated and I'll continue my analysis of the USA Moscone Cup team. Yeah, so for me, Shane and Sky obviously already on, Justin a no-go. So that leaves, they seem like they love the dynamic with Sky and Billy, the energy that those two bring. So I think Billy will be back on there. And I don't know. I think we like what we saw from Chris last year. He's continued to put the work in. It's very obvious that Jeremy Jones likes the young man. And so with the poll that he has, you kind of think Chris makes it back on there. And then for my money, Tyler should be on there. But I don't know. I mean, you kind of have to look somewhere else because they've kind of make it seem like they don't want Tyler to be on there for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the players. I don't really actually know the politics behind that. Maybe somebody in the comments knows better than me, but it seems like they're steering away from that direction. So I don't know. Do you see Corey again? Yeah, he didn't play well last year, but in his defense, he was completely out of stroke, completely surprised by having to be there after they had already announced the team, and then Justin was unable to go because of a COVID situation. So he was out of stroke, and they just went with the experience, and it didn't pay off in that situation. I think Corey would be the first to admit that he seriously underperformed. But maybe you look a different direction this year. I would love to see Oscar. I think Oscar's playing really well, but once again, with the politics, it seems like, Oscar doesn't seem like he thinks anybody wants him to be on the team. I mean, we talked to him about it when he was in the booth with Mike and I a couple weeks ago. And Oscar basically so much as said that he'd have to win the U.S. Open to get looked at for the Moscone Cup. So I don't know. So, Mike, we're having a discussion about the Moscone Cup here. Somebody asked who the 5 are probably going to be for Europe. I gave my guess with you said they already announced David?
Right, yes.
Yeah, so with that, I said I think you have to put Kachi on there after the win at the Predator World 10 Ball. I think Shaw is always going to be on the team until he can't hold a cue. I think it's really tough to leave Josh Filler off. And for me, I always like Albin. But that leaves off Kazakis and Federer. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
So David getting picked kind of threw a big monkey wrench in the whole thing. Obviously, Matchroom has stated from the beginning that if you make it in based off of points, that it's going to be an automatic qualifier. So that means last year's team will not be the same for Team Europe. That's just a given. So Albin's already in. David's already announced. And then it gets interesting. So, the World 10 Ball is not a Matchroom event. However, I don't see how they can go and have a team without Kachi on there, given that he really only traveled to one major. And oh, by the way, it was a world championship. And oh, by the way, he snapped it off. So it'd be kind of hard to go and deny him for my money, even as a wild card pick, right? So for me, there's 3 spots that are already gone. Now you have guys who are going to be left out. I'm like you in that I don't see Jason being left off this team. I think he's last year's MVP. I think he checks off a lot of boxes as far as TV goes, and Matchroom is in the business of producing a television event. Let's get that straight. And
I think that's a great point, by the way. Not to interrupt you, but just real quick, I will interject that people do have to remember that is the number 1 top priority here.
Yeah. But he's also got a game to go and back it up, right? And I know that I was talking with a few Europeans who, let's say, are in contention or would have been in contention before the announcement of David, and they weren't too sold on Jason's performance up until this point of this year, meaning that they wouldn't have him on the team. But again, he's along with all those things, he's also the reigning MVP for Team Europe on a winning year. So, and then you got Josh Filler, who is probably made for TV more than anybody. He's got personality. His game to go and back it up. He's got a lot of different things going for him. Now, is he playing the best out of all the Europeans? You can go and argue he isn't. I would go and tell you Max Lechner's playing better. Kazakis won the World Pool Masters, which I don't understand why that isn't an automatic qualifier, given that is a Matchroom event. I can tell you that Team USA would love to go and have Kazakis on Team Europe, and you can take that for however you want to go and take it. Um, they would not mind seeing Kazakis on the other side. Um, but for my money, I'm going with obviously Kachi. Albin's already in there. David's in there. And then after that, if I'm going to pick, I would go with Max Lechner. But if I'm going to say who I think is going to go make, I think it's going to be Jason Shaw, and I think it's going to be Joshua Fielder filling out Team Europe. And I think that's going to be your 5 that are going to go into Ali Pali this December and not just defend the title, but defend it convincingly. So
Yeah, so it sounds like you have the same 5 that I have, and no Federer and no Kazakis. What about Team USA?
Yeah, and real quick, just on the note of Federer, I mean, everybody knows I love the kid to death, and I hope he can go and stay focused this upcoming year. But I think he was the first one out once David got picked. But anyway, on Team USA, I tell you, the last few weeks have really just opened things up wide open. Um, I've heard some things, so I got to be careful how I go and respond here because I have not confirmed it, and it is on my agenda to go and touch base with Emily here. I wanted to wait until maybe she had a week off before I go and reach out to her. But obviously, Sky and Shane are in. Those are already announced. That's a lock. You can take it to the bank. They're going to be there with Team USA this year. Outside of that, I think there was a few guys aside from Billy who I think had a chance to go and really, cause some waves and go and stir things up for a chance at a different team than who showed up last year. Um, I don't think Tyler Starr just played. I don't think he made the best of his opportunities. I'll just say it like that. And I like Tyler a lot. I think he does things the right way. I think he's a great ambassador for the sport. I think he's a great role model. Um, but you got to go and play good pool to be on that stage in the Moscone Cup. And I don't think that his game, because he had a lot of opportunities, but he also had a lot of big losses this year at the U.S. Open, the Predator events. So I don't think Tyler did enough. I think Danny Olson was another guy who had another chance. I don't think he did enough to go and take that spot. I think Chris has had pretty good tournament wins, including giving Shane hell a couple times in tournament play, um, having some good feathers on his cap. We talked about that during the Shane Wolford match, how important it is to see how you're playing up against top competition. Um, and then that would basically leave the last spot wide open. Emily's pretty much said that if you don't play in the U.S. Open, that you're not going to get in. So that would lead me to believe that Oscar does not have a chance to get in, but I think he does. I think he's got a legitimate shot to go and make it just because of the way those other two have performed or not performed over the last month of pool.
That's a thing. I mean, we've seen nothing really good from Danny Olson, nothing really good from Tyler Steyer, and really not much from Chris. Like, Chris has been the best of those, but maybe still not as good as perhaps what we expected to see from him this year. But I'm with you. Probably the most wide open 5 spot that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and it really just depends on how much say is Jeremy and Shane going to go and have, I think. Um, because if you're just looking at how guys are playing, I don't see how you can leave off Oscar Dominguez off that team. He had a great run in the World 10 ball. He gave Omar hell, and Omar went to the final of the World Championships this year. Um, and he's hitting them good. And I'm not just saying all this because he's my friend. I'm not trying to lobby for him. I'm not trying to campaign for him. I try to I try to hold back because he is my friend, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming across that way. But if I'm just looking at it from the perspective of how are you playing pool today? Are you good enough to go and play or be on America's top 5 for the Moscone Cup? I don't see how you can leave them off. And I think that a lot of those guys would want to have Oscar in there with them to go to battle come December. So, um, but like I said, I do have plans to reach out to Emily to really get some. Uh, I talked to her a few weeks ago, but really just to get some answers as far as when a hard date's going to be for the announcement of all the teams, um, mainly the U.S. team, because realistically, they're going to be up against it no matter who they send out there. You know, I don't care what five you go and pick, even if Bergman was on that team. You know, they're going to be up against it with Team Europe. So I think that the more time they have together to go and bond and have chemistry and train together, the better. Um, but there's a few other questions, but like I said, I'll hold off saying more until I talk to her because I already got my ass chewed out before by her. I ain't trying to
So
deal with that. So
let me ask you this. We said it's wide open, but out of the names that we've mentioned, we mentioned Corey, we mentioned Oscar, we mentioned Tyler Steyer, and we mentioned Danny Olson and Oscar Dominguez. Is there anybody else in the United States that there's any possibility, like higher than 0% chance that it could be them?
no, not right now. Um, I don't think Corey's got a shot at making.
I
making
don't
this
think
team.
Corey does either, by the way. But
Yeah.
um,
Um, but no, I don't. I think those are the guys who are going to be in. Um, before, like before this month of pool, I would have argued more for Tyler Steyer, and if he makes it, I'm not going to be upset because the kid really does do a lot of things well. Um, but no, I don't. Bergman, I think the only shot that maybe he could have had to have one more argument is if he would have performed at the U.S. Open, which he didn't even go to. So people can go and say, well, he's America's, best player or second or third best player, and you're probably right. But you know what? If you're not leaving the house, then it doesn't matter. Um, Mike DeShane has zero chance at doing anything involving Moscone Cup or Matchroom for that matter. So that ship has sailed. Um, and I would, if I use that same logic then that I just used with those two, I would say Oscar does not have a shot. But like I said, because of the way those guys have not performed over the last month and the way he has performed when he was there, that's the only reason why I would say I think Oscar's got a legitimate chance.
well, I think if there's nobody else, then I think the chances of it being Corey is a little bit higher than we're giving it credit for.
Well,
if you're saying what you're saying is right about maybe there's no chance it's Oscar because no U.S. Open, then I think that has to put Corey at like a 10% chance to get in, with like 20% Danny Olson and maybe like 50-50 between.
no, I would
the
think
other one, right?
I would say Corey's got a better shot at making the team over Danny Olson.
Okay, so we're really basically talking about Tyler Steyer and Corey Deuel. Like that's really the whole conversation. If Oscar is off the board,
well then I would go and say for 4 and 5. If let's say Oscar's not in, then I would go with Chris and Tyler to round out.
Oh yeah,
5. I mean, and that's saying that Billy makes it as number 3. So.
Well, I think this conversation makes Billy a shoe-in, right? I mean, I think there's no way Billy doesn't make it based on the conversation we just had. He's 100% in.
Well, there's got to be something pretty drastic to go and happen to where Billy Thorpe does not make this year's Moscone Cup. And again, barring something wild from happening, I think he's going to be there this December to go and be out there with Sky and Shane. But listen, I love that there's even talk about it. I don't think you can go in there with the same team from last year. They got smoked, and something's got to go and give. Something's got to go and change. You can't go and do the same things and expect different results. So, and I know they have Shane as a co-captain for this year's team, and I point blank asked Emily, is that a financial decision? Because Carl Boyce wears a lot of hats, in the Matchroom stage, she said absolutely it is not. That is not the reason why they chose Shane to go and be the co-captain. So um, they want him to. He's going to have more say into the team that's picked, and I think that's huge. And Shane does not like to lose. You know, he's got a shot at 30,000. He wants to go in there with the best options that he's got. You know,
I'm with you. And, a couple people in the comments mentioned Jeremy Sauce, and we should at least give him the respect of mentioning his name. Well, I don't think either of us really think there's a chance he'll be on the team, but certainly
I think
have
he's
to
got a shot. I
mention.
think he's got a shot for sure.
Really?
Only because of the last time that we saw him was on the Matchroom stage playing who was it from Hong Kong? Young kid, plays really, really good. Went to the quarterfinals of the World Championship a couple years ago. I can't remember his name. Anyway, I think a lot of people saw him, and that kind of, for those of you who don't know who Jeremy was, or is rather, they were made aware during the World Championships on how solid he is, how poised he was. He played so consistent throughout that event. I think was one of the top two or three Americans that were left in the tournament. So, and I think he even made it to the final 16 if I'm not mistaken. So Jeremy played fantastic, but again, you got to go and play. He wasn't even at the U.S. Open, and maybe you would be able to know, but isn't he from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, he lives. I
From that
want to
area?
say he lives in New Hampshire or somewhere in New England.
Yeah. So you gotta.
Maybe Rhode Island,
It's like
Connecticut.
now if he would have gone and played the World 10 Ball and the Diamond event, and if he would have gone more importantly played the U.S. Open this year, and let's say followed up on that great World Championship showing, yeah, I don't see how you can go and leave him off, because just as much as I think Tyler and Danny missed an opportunity, you could say Jeremy missed an opportunity because he could have been a lock, you know, if he played halfway decent throughout those events. If you're just looking at performance, because his World Championship run was that strong, it left an impression on a lot of people. So, um,
Yeah,
but
he is from
we'll see.
Connecticut, by the way. Somebody confirmed in the comments. Yeah.
I think a lot's going to come out more in the next couple weeks. So, and like I said, I'm uh, especially after some things that I heard within the last week that I just want to find out about first before I go and say anything. So, um, but I'm hoping there's a shakeup. Like I said, uh, I do go and bet on Europe every year. I don't make any bones about it, right? And it's nothing. People will go and say that I'm unpatriotic and all this. It's not the case. It's just a sweat bet, right? But I want to see something competitive. I don't want to watch anything in sports where it's uncompetitive. I don't want to watch a whitewash. I don't want to watch guys get beat 4-0, 5-0. I want to watch a battle, just like we're watching right now with Ruiz and Mika. I want to watch guys fighting and competing and something that's where they're showing a lot of heart. And I just don't see a way you can have the same team go out there that went out last year. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so as you just mentioned, Francisco jumped out to a 3-0 lead here. A couple of pretty good rolls for him, couple of mistakes for Mika. But Mika able to grab the last two racks here and is breaking to try to get level here in the first set. We try not to get off on too many crazy tangents, guys. We really want to break down the action on the table, but we would also be remiss to do a stream throughout an entire week without having the Moscone Cup conversation. So it's a conversation that everybody loves to have, and obviously Molina Mike has some great insight, insider information a lot of times. So hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown from Molina Mike, and I know we're all looking forward to that event coming up this December at the Alexandria Palace. As Mika pushes out to a jumper, a kick here. Pretty brutal to not have a look there. I mean, look how good of a break this was, Mike. And he was just locked behind the six.
Ooh, yeah, kind of got one of those SVB kind of rolls. SVB's not been getting rewarded after the break, that's for sure. But he's still just a bit of an update. So Shane is up 124 to 120. Tony's up 2-1 on Alex. Yeah, I don't mean to go off on a tangent. Moscone Cup is, it's the crown jewel of the sport, and especially the closer we get to it, the more people are going to go and get excited about it. There's always going to be a lot of fans going and watching it, and I think the promotion, has to be as the promotion, and we on this side have responsibility just to make sure we do our part to kind of help, get people excited about it as well, but while still having credibility. So, um, and I always look forward to it.
For sure. As Mika played a real nice 2-rail kick and stick shot there, but the one just leaked out, and Francisco's going to be able to lock him in here behind the 10. Pretty effective shot. Doesn't freeze him to the 10. Mika actually has the left side long rail available for a 1-rail kick, or even a 3-rail kick at the backside of it, if he thinks that's better. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I didn't see that he was standing in a way where I couldn't see the 8, so that second shot that I called there is not available.
Well, what is he on the 2?
1 ball. Misses long.
Okay.
So the safety pays off, and this is a pretty wide open table here for Sanchez Ruiz. Not a lot in this. Good chance to close out this set.
Yeah, I don't really see any problems here. Ball in hand, 8 balls on the table. He should definitely be able to handle this. Is this a B-side matchup or an A-side matchup? Do you know?
This is it. This is winner's side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they might as well call it the European Open.
Yeah, Americans left in the A side. That's a good conversation. Are there any?
No, there aren't. There weren't any Americans who even attended this event.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. John Mora is North American, but he's not on the A side either anymore. So. All right, guys. Yeah, so you are watching side table action live here from the Michigan stop on the Euro Tour.
It's really kind of unfair because Europe is so deep. I think Ruiz is one of those guys who's been on the cusp too, kind of like a Dennis Grave. I think Europe's B team would be difficult to go and beat for Team USA's A team. So that just shows, how many options, and these guys are fighting for it. They travel a lot, but they also, some of them do get support from their countries. Some of them don't. But both these guys, Mika played well lately. Ruiz is playing well lately. So they both have momentum. They both obviously want to go and make it into the final 16, which will be single elimination in this event. So I think the winner from here will automatically be in, and then there will be a redraw.
Yeah, so for anybody just joining us, we can give a quick update. Clint Kachi, Oliver Zolnoki, Victor Zelinsky, Konrad Yushizhin, Mario He have all already locked up their place in the final 16. Did you catch who won between Alex and Roland Garcia? My bracket is not updated right now.
No, I didn't get to see.
I think Kazakis did, yeah.
Oh, that's all pretty good. So Roland's been playing real solid lately.
Yeah, so those 6 into your final 8 on the winner's side, they will be in the final 16 redraw. And then, of course, this winner's side match here, and over on the mainstream table, Roberto Gomez versus Aloysius Yap, trying to claim one of those final 8 winner's side matches.
Nice. Is that on right now?
Should be, yeah. And that was the end of that first set there. Sorry to get distracted for a second, guys, but Francisco Sanchez Ruiz able to win the first set by a score of 4-2. Mika will have the break starting out the second set.
Yeah, let's see if Mika can continue off that momentum that he had in the middle of it. Over on the TV table, it's 2-1 in favor of Roberto, but Yap is on the 9-ball right now. So. And looks like we're about to have a tied match. Well, he left himself a little bit of a touch, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Mika with a great shot on the 1. 3-ball doesn't have very many options, though, from what it looks like. He's going to have to do some work here, Jeremy.
Yeah, and a quick update, some inside information from somebody in the comments. Apparently, Jeremy Sauce's wife just had their first child right before that U.S. That's why he wasn't at the U.S. Open. So congratulations to them.
Nice.
There are certainly things in life much more important than anything pool-related.
For sure. Yeah, that's just amazing news. You're a father, I'm a father, so my heart just warms up hearing that news.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen a lot of guys whose game has elevated after they do become a father. I think we saw that with Jason Shaw. And if that's the case with Jeremy, I think he'll definitely make a case for the Moscone Cup next year.
I don't know, man. That diaper stroke is real. I don't know about that. You find less and less time to go and hit balls being a father. Meanwhile, Mika just put himself in a really tough spot here. Made the best of that shot. Oh, look at that. He might have left the jump, but boy, he got the most out of that.
You know, Mike, Mark White earlier said that we were playing down to the final 16 tonight, but that does not appear to be the case. I'm looking at the bracket, and the round of 32 on the B side looks like it will start tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but I think,
yeah. So the final 8 winners, the final 8 winners here will be in that final 16 redraw, but there will be 2 rounds left to play out tomorrow to round out the rest of that final 16. So I think the final 16 will be the afternoon session tomorrow, and they'll play down to 4 players more than likely for the semis and the final on Saturday. I think that will be the way the tournament plays out.
Yeah, meanwhile, goes for a jump, leaves the 3 wide open. Are you there, Jeremy?
Yeah, sorry. Well, 1 second. Got a message from my wife real quick. I have been in the office basically all day today, so shout out to my wife for holding down the fort out on the home front.
We couldn't do it without him. You know, Tina helps me out quite a bit too. She's the anchor, that's for sure. Meanwhile, tough miss for Mika, and he lets everyone know how he really feels about it. How that guy doesn't go through, 5 shafts a month is beyond me. I saw him go and smack the cue like that so many times in Vegas. I think that's where the balance of maybe how I think emotion can be good for the game, but then sometimes some emotion may not be good for the game. So I guess everyone's got an opinion. Meanwhile, Ruiz is going to go and take advantage of this. 3 balls left.
And yeah, and you it's good see the opposite body language.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah,
bud.
for sure. Absolutely. No, I was gonna say it's good for Francisco not letting whatever the discussion they were having there when it comes to the racking and all that early on, not go and affect them.
Yeah, and I mean it's not anything FSR is doing. You know, how many racks have we seen on this table today where the 10 ball just shoots to one of the lower corner pockets? I mean, you're gonna have it.
Got out.
Yeah, and I kind of spoke at the same time as you there, but the point I was trying to make, kind of the opposite on the body language from Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, just kind of bounces as he walks around the table, very positive energy, confidence. Um, None of that like sulky kind of behavior that we're seeing from Mika.
Yeah, yeah. When Mika's not happy, the whole room's gonna know about it. You know, arms, Q smacking around, you name it. You're gonna be able to see it and hear it.
All right, guys. So, want to mention it once again. We have a giveaway going on for two custom Jam Up apparel competition polos. You could pick anyone that you want if you are the winner. So, the way we're going to go about doing that, if you would like to support the stream, there is information regarding how to do that at the bottom of your screen. And every $5 donation will get you one entry into the raffle, and any $20 donation will give you 5 entries into the raffle. That will probably happen sometime tomorrow afternoon in the evening session as we come to one of the last matches of the week out here on the outer tables. Because, of course, Saturday they'll be down to just the main table with the semis and the finals. Um, so yeah, get those donations in, guys, if you would like to be included in that raffle for those nice custom Jam Up apparel competition polos. One of those was generously
Yeah,
donated by Damien, the owner of Jam Up, and then of course the Booth brothers matched the other one. So well, we appreciate any and all support that we can get, guys. This is a free stream. We're doing this for the love of the game, but it really goes a long way to encourage us to continue on doing what we're doing when you guys do patronize the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying this.
yeah. Right now, and right now they got real good odds. So we appreciate
Yeah.
we appreciate it. Like Jeremy said, the odds of whoever's ever donated up until this point, y'all are sitting real good. Trust me. So um, we appreciate y'all. And we thank y'all. And, just like Jeremy said, we're doing it for the love. And um, I'm gonna I'm gonna be gone. And let's say, oh, what a nice little shot there. He doesn't want it to go in though. Ooh, brutal. Um, this is one of my last few days here with the girls, so I'm spending it here doing all this, but it's because of our passion and our love for the game. I'm about to head out to South Carolina next week, so or at the end of this week rather. That was an unfortunate little roll there.
Yeah,
Or
kind of a
fortunate,
great
to be on
example
Mika's
there
side.
of how short these rails are banking, Mike. Like that should not have come close to the side pocket on that shot.
Yeah, I think he knew it too as soon as he saw it come off.
Oh yeah, you could see
He
it
kind
coming
of
a million miles away, tracking right forward all the way. Yeah, so that's a great tournament that you just mentioned there, Mike. And we just saw the big announcement that Jeanette Lee will be participating in the women's division of that event, which is great news. Who would have thought that, a couple months ago, following that crazy news with the cancer. So big shout out to Jeanette Lee. I think that makes just about every pool fan out there happy to see that.
1,000,000%. I had This is just kind of letting everyone know the kind of guy that Omega Mike is. So um, Mike messaged me maybe like 3 or 4 days ago, and he says, "Mike, I got some really huge news. Uh, it's not finalized yet. So he's like, make a flyer, but don't really mention it. Like mention it without mentioning it. And he says Jeanette's probably going to be coming to the Diamond event next week. And I was like, boy, that's just you know we've all followed her journey, and she's been real open about it online, and we're all pool fans, and we all obviously know who she is and support her, and it's touched a lot of people, seeing her go and fight the way she has. And anyway, so Mike tells me this, and I'm excited. And I made the flyer, and as we're talking that night in Messenger, he's like, you know what's funny? He said, man, I've helped put on some really great matches, and he's like, and then of course I know Mike real well, and he's like, and I've gambled a lot on pool, right? He's like, I've had a lot of money at stake at any given time, because he not just promotes them and puts on the tournament and will stream matches, but Mike does a lot outside that you'll never see on a stream when it comes to helping players out and putting them in the grease. But anyway, he said, I'm more excited this news that Jeanette's coming better than any score I've ever had in my life. Better than any money I've ever made in my life. This feeling here is so much more rewarding and better. And that just shows you the kind of guy that Mike Wong is from Omega. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm certainly excited to see her back in action. Kind of the face of American pool, if we're really being honest. You'd have to think that um, probably more famous than Shane Van Boning. I mean, you would think. I mean, you could talk to anybody about pool. It doesn't even have to be somebody who plays pool or follows pool. They know who the Black Widow is, you know?
right. No, you're absolutely right. She's been the face of really the industry, and I think that's why. Well, I mean, just plus the person she is. People that know her, people that have met her or taken a picture with her or whatever. You know, um, it the news was pretty shocking to start the year. So we're glad that she's been fighting and responding well, and I hope that she continues to have nothing but successes and in her battle there.
Meanwhile, big miscue from Mika in that last rack when he should have had a pretty good opportunity. And Francisco able to clean up, leads 2-0, and a pretty big break here. Look at the 1. The 2 goes in the side. Probably going to have to come up for a 3-8 combination, so he needs to fall good on the 2 here. Oh, he's not even going to take it on. Okay. Yeah, and the 1 to the 2 wasn't the problem there, but the 1 trying to get to the 2 with a good chance to get back up for the 3 just wasn't sitting pretty. So he's going to keep the pressure on Mika, not really give any chance for this momentum to swing back the other way. Mika's going to have to create something.
Like I said, Mika's not shy when it comes to firing the ball.
This is tough. I mean, the 1 rail kick is there, or 2 rails catching it rail first, but what's the reward? I mean, you make the 1, there's little chance you get a look at the 2, and there's not a lot of cover to find either.
Ooh, it was so loud.
That was probably best case scenario for Mika there. Making a good hit, but not making the 1 was probably about as good as he could do. Because Francisco doesn't have a good look here. He's got a pocketable ball on the 1, but I don't know. Can he go forward between the 3-7 and then 2 rails into the...
Oh, he hit that. He did my shot there. That's my move.
drop back and punt?
Yeah.
Didn't really look like he was...
that 1 ball.
Yeah, that was goofy. So I think maybe Mika called, I don't know, did he call the cross side here. I called the 10. Sorry. That's a pretty good shot there from Mika. But I think we're going to see a little bit more movement before this rack really starts to develop. This is a pretty tough layout here.
Meanwhile, bit of an update again. 124, 121. Captain America, Shane and Tony and Alex are still at 2-1. Ooh, watch the cue ball. Ooh, it stayed up. Over on the TV table.
Does Mika have a free look at the 10 here? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's going to try to run out. Yeah, that makes way more sense. I guess he had the shot to get on the 2. But I interrupted you there. You said there was a result from the TV table?
Yeah, sorry. Gomez beat Yap the first set 4-2, and they just started the second set. So go check out World Billiard TV on YouTube. They're doing a great job over there as well. So it's just a great time for pool in general. I mean, there's just stuff all over the place going on right now. I still got four matches going on right here in front of me that I'm watching, and I just love it. I love every minute of it.
Guys, looks like our next match up at 8 o'clock on table 3 here as we're watching will be another look at Kang Lee for the 3rd time, taking on American Hunter Lombardo, B-side action, and that will be probably the last match of the night. Nice clearance here from Mika. Gets it back to within a game here in the second set. Not out of it yet.
All he's got to do, just win a couple more. Well, actually, it's 2-1, so we got to win a few more. But at least he's going and making it a match, and he can go and turn real quick on you, like we've seen a few times so far. So if he can just go and stay a little more poised and have a good break.
Yeah, it's so rare that you can see a guy kind of seemingly tilted based on body language and actions or whatever, but still playing at a high level. Like, he's made some mistakes for sure, but you see just how talented Mika Immonen is on that last out. Like, that was not an easy rack to get up on the board there. And even when he looks like he's tilted, he was able to get it done. So not out of this match by any means. And he just pocketed the 10 on the break there?
Did he? No,
Yeah.
10 ball's right there. No, on the bottom.
Yeah, he picked it up already.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Boy, yeah, so a minute ago quick. he was crying about FSR hanging it up in the other corner, and then 2 racks later he jams it right in.
It can go and change, man. You know, that's the beauty of this format. I think he's more of these just old school players. Just I'm gonna make sure and get a tight rack and just give it a whack. All right. 2-2, race to 4. Mika can somehow pull this out. He's gonna force a shootout, which we've had plenty today. I remember whenever we had interviewed Mika a few months back, Mark had actually gotten us the interview with Mika, and I asked him point blank. I said, do you still got it in you to make another run, another World Championship run? Are you still looking to make the Moscone Cup team? And he didn't even hesitate. Just snap called, absolutely. So I think he's got a lot of work to do to go and get there, but um, he's putting in the work. He's traveling all over the place. He's playing in everything. So that's where to start.
Do you plan to be doing more of this next week from Aiken, Mike? Have you talked to Michael Wang about that possibility yet, or?
Uh, yes and no. So we were asked to do something, but uh, I don't know if we'll be able to. It's gonna be. I'll find out more whenever I get in front of them and get in front of Phil and Mike and them because you know they're doing a pay per view. So
Oh, okay.
you know that's the big difference. So we don't want to have something going on that's going to be taken away from people going and buying the stream because they got a tough nut to crack there. You know, um, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna go over there with all my equipment. So, um, and I got a good relationship with them, so we'll see what we can do. I'm hoping that again, I haven't talked to him, but I'm hoping that if we can go and get maybe at least one match a day of let's say of the rotation, one match a day of let's say the one pocket where if we can go and drive people to go and purchase the pay per view, right, and have a decent outer table match, then I think it'd be a win-win for everyone. But they've been busy with the Shane and Chang match, so I haven't had time to really pitch them on the idea. But
No, that's awesome, and it's a good point, guys. Everybody out there watching right now, there's 260 people watching right now. Put that on your calendar, guys. The Diamond Omega Open and Aiken, South Carolina, running from I think next Tuesday all the way through the weekend. Pay-per-view on omegabilliards.com. It's going to be an awesome production. Those fields are all absolutely stacked. We just mentioned Jeanette Lee back in action over on the women's side of things, and just a loaded field. All these international players still uh, over here in the United States making a run through all these big major events, gearing up for the International Open at the end of next month. So really great footage you'll be able to watch there on that pay-per-view, and those guys do a great job. A lot of you are watching Shane versus Chang Jung Lin right now on that stream, so you know what kind of a production they have.
yeah, they got a lot more stuff cooking, so that's why I've always said I'm always gonna be supporting Mike and them. And big miss, wow, by Ruiz. He should have had that. Looked like. Let's see what he elects to do because the two balls and not that favorable of a spot either. So this is kind of like this is what we saw earlier where he got himself hooked behind the 10, where he took the shot, just hoped to kind of like power it up and let me just hope that I'm gonna end up with a shot afterwards. And I know he wanted to come over a lot more. He made the best of that. Um, but you see a lot of these top players really just more specific where they want to get to before they go and make a decision.
Yeah, the gentleman in the comments there already corrected himself that Roland Garcia is still in this tournament. Yeah, don't forget about Roberto Gomez in action right now on the TV table against Aloysius Yap. Actually won the first set. So two Filipinos still going at it in this field. A couple of Americans, Tyler Steyer, Hunter Lombardo, but largely a European and Asian contingent here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I remember whenever we had the Tucson event and we did a show right afterwards just talking about the event. First thing I said was, wait till all these Europeans come over and you'll watch and see how many of them are going to be playing in this event. I think the only one that I'm surprised not to see is Filler, given that he's a Predator Pro and is here right now. But everybody else seems like is is all playing.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like there's no Americans in this field. Local player Dominic Brico still fighting his way through the B side, amateur player from Michigan. Gregory Hogue, I'm not sure, but maybe American. Evan Lunda. Um, and then Tony Robles is, I guess, Tony Robles is American, right?
Yeah. Greg is. You nailed it. Um, it's just a shame, man, because race the four, pressure from the jump. This thing is just Moscone Cup boot camp here, you know.
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
and there's not any. I mean, except if Tyler makes it, there's no Moscone Cup players here. So
Yeah, and then Shane Wolford on the outside looking into that conversation, maybe in a couple years, but doing the right things, making the right moves, trying to play in all these events. And I believe he was there at the US Open last week as well. Jody Toljan in the comments wants to know our thoughts on maybe like a Champions League like they have in golf for guys like Mika and I don't know, I guess Earls and Efrons, and Mika's on the younger side of that still, but in his 40s, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the number would be.
I mean, everybody still wants to watch Earl play. So
Yeah.
um, go watch him wherever he's at. Everybody's gonna go and stand around and watch. So I think you got to figure out a way to go and get Earl back involved in the Moscone Cup, in the matchroom stage as much as possible. So, um, and he still has some game when it comes to 9-ball pool.
Mika just got the speed right on that shot. That cue ball comes short off that rail and it goes any farther, that 10 ball gets big. But he's in perfect shape here, looking to go up 3-2 and have a chance to try to get this thing to a shootout.
Here we go to get on the hill in the hole. Nice out for Mika. I tell you what, I saw him go and do some spot shot match with Tyler during the Diamond event, and he was hitting them good, real good.
Looks like Mika hooked on this one ball. Oh, he made the 10 again. No way. Wow, Mika makes the 10 ball on the break again for the second time in the set to win the second set, and we have got a shootout, guys.
I'll be right back, Jeremy.
Yep. All right, guys. So anybody out there that does not know the format, was 2 races to 4, and if the players are tied after 2 sets, it goes to a spot shot shootout. Wait, did I miss something here? Somebody in the comments help me out here. What's going on? Okay. Francisco must have stepped away for a second. Just a practice break there again from Mika. Yeah, definitely a shootout, guys. I was confused there for a second, but Mika was just breaking the balls again, checking something out. We are getting set here for a shootout. And it's so crazy that, earlier in the set, Mika's complaining about Francisco having that 10 ball tracking towards the corner pocket for a combo. And then 2 times here in the second set, 10 on the break. And here we go with the shootout. Looks like Mike is back with us.
Yeah, I went to go put some popcorn in the microwave.
Did you catch that? He
Get
just
ready
made the
for all
10 on the
excitement.
break again to close that set out.
It's pretty poetic, if you ask me.
And he's just getting a couple practice shots up here. Francisco must have ran to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, it's a big advantage, I think, being able to practice these shots.
Oh, man.
Just a bit of an update. Shane is up by 5 games and running out right now. It's 126, 121. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But Shane's picking up right where he left off, and Chang Jun Lin's gonna have to go and find a spark somewhere. He's gonna want to stay in it.
All right, looks like we're ready to go here with this shootout. I was trying to let everybody know a little bit about this format for a second there, and then I was confused because I saw Mika rack the balls up again and break them, but he was just checking something, messing around as Francisco stepped away. So anyways, tied here, a set apiece, goes to a spot shot shootout. The 10 is actually below the spot where it would be in the rack if the players were breaking. Ball in hand in the kitchen and in that quadrant between the head string and to the left of the diamond. They will actually both have a chance to shoot from that position and then go to the other side of the table. And they'll have 4 innings alternating back and forth between the left side and the right side. If no player has an advantage in the score after 4 full innings, it goes to a sudden death, and the cue ball will actually move back to the first diamond in the kitchen until a winner has been decided.
No pressure.
Yep, FSR able to get that first one down. Mika answers 1-1. Moving to the right side of the table, and it will be Francisco's turn.
Well, let me see what happened with the Yap and Roberto, because they were going at it. Let's see. Oh, put my volume up. Let's see. 2-1 in favor of Roberto. Looking to go and sweep Aloysius. Alright, so here we go. 1-1 to hold serve. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz coming off a big win, I think, in the Turkey event right before coming over to the States. They also did a spot shot similar to this to kind of get ready for this format. 2-1.
Yeah, Francisco a winner over Alex Kazakis in the final of that event. That was about a month and a half ago or so. And then he followed that up with nice run last week at the US Open. As Mika misses there in the bottom of the second, top third here, Francisco, chance to put a serious amount of pressure onto Mika.
Oh, so Mika just missed then, right?
Yeah. Look, the stream froze up on us there for a second. Hopefully that'll be right back. Chance to go dormy here for you golfers out there, if you're familiar with that term. But does not get it down. We are 2-1. Reprieve here for Mika.
this
If
is
he
gonna
makes
be
this, we're back on serve if he makes this. This is
right.
the bottom of the
Big
third
ball.
here.
In my mind, I was just about to ask that. Here we go. In the hole. It's in the hole. 2-2.
Yep, 2-2 through 3 full innings. Both players have missed once. This is the top of the fourth for Francisco. The last inning before what would be a sudden death and moving back a diamond.
Here we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. All right, so here we go. Mika's got a chance to win now. So this is the fourth. If he can go and get a ball down, just this ball down, he will move on to the winner's side and send the Spaniard to the scenic route. Big shot here. Here we go. For the win.
Got it.
In the hole, Mika Immonen, world champion, moves on. Great shot. Good shot. That's why we said it how many times, how quick this can go and turn. Right, Jeremy?
Yeah, it never really looked like Mika had too much of a chance in that set. Body language was really negative. Francisco looked great. And then those 2 10s on the break, a couple nice runouts from Mika in the second set. And there you have it. Anything can happen in a shootout, guys. Guys, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back at 8 p.m. here on the East Coast for, let me remember who it was, Kang Lee versus Hunter Lombardo, I believe, B-side match. But there you see on your screen, you have a chance to win a custom Jam Up competition polo of your choice. Get your name customized on the back. Any $5 donation to the stream gets you an entry into that drawing. Any $20 donation will get you 5 entries into that drawing. The drawing will be late in the day tomorrow, one of the last matches that we'll be streaming. I'm sure Joey and Michael have some kind of a number randomizer to figure out the winner for that. Appreciate the ones that have already jumped in and donated. And we appreciate anybody else that's going to come in and get involved with that. We actually have 2 shirts to give away, guys. So get those entries in. Mike mentioned it earlier. Your odds are good right now. Haven't had a ton of donations come in, but we do appreciate any support we can get, guys. And it does not have to be the shirt that you're looking at. It can be any of the competition polos that you can find on the Jam Up website. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. It is 7:38. I don't know how long of a break this will be. Looks like Kang Lee is already at the table warming up. I'm going to step away. Mike, I might just leave this live so you can jump back in with the commentary whenever you're ready, if the players jump back into action real fast. But we'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Booth brothers and the Sweat here from the CSI Predator Pro Series event in Michigan.